Hello, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, I'm trying to learn Java completely from ChatGPT and AI. Right now, I'm working on creating a Blackjack game, and I realized that I actually need to create a plan. So now, you get to see the unedited process of me planning out a full Blackjack game. So, the way I would like to plan this is basically divide it into different sections of the game into sort of like an object-oriented approach. So in a blackjack game, we have a dealer, we have our players, we have our deck, and then we have each card. We need to keep track of a score, we need to keep track of the bets, and just how much money each person has. We should go to player, so let's put that here. So obviously what you first want to do is create all the players. So what you do, I think, is welcome the players, then create the players. So that seems like a good start in general. And then each player should probably have X amount of money. Player should have a name. And what else should a player have? Probably unique ID. That way we can have easier lookups, because that's always convenient. And now we have a dealer, which basically has our deck. So I don't think in this sense you actually need a dealer class, or the dealer can just have the deck as a property of the class. But we don't need to go into specifics, because this is what we're going to do. Once we have all the players, we will just create a loop, basically, that will set up each round. So this is what a round would look like. Everyone draws 2 cards. So that seems simple enough, but in order to do that, you need to obviously set up a deck class. So I create a deck with 52 cards. And then in my card class, I assign a value to each card. So that makes sense. And everyone draws 2 cards from the deck, which is his own class, I believe. And then all you have to do is loop through the players inside of this loop. Through the players. And then they get to hit or stands and bet. To me, that seems like a pretty good outline of the game. So now I can think of how I would actually do this in code. Just a simple idea. So first I would just like system.out, and to create the players, I guess I would just create a for loop that goes all the way up to 7, or how many players are in this standard maximum blackjack game, in which you could just enter the name, and then ID will created just by a tally, because that seems pretty convenient. And now you can just assign them when declaring the class of a player, money, name, ID. Obviously, now you were to create a deck class that just has 52 cards and assign each value a card. And then all you have to do is create a loop, make sure everyone draws 2 cards from the deck, and then just loop through the players and they get to hit or stand or bet and bet. Now, there's obviously a lot more logistics when you actually go to this step. So first, in general, the amount of points you get is pretty straightforward. Cards from 2 to 9 face value, and then 10 to king all have 10, but the most important one that makes this a little more complicated is the ace can be 1 or 11. And you get to choose that each time. So obviously you can keep track of the cards each player has, which is something you should have. So player should have cards in play they could add to it. And basically for each round you get to determine the value of the cards, but after hitting, unless you stand, then you just get to pick. So that can be as simple as just looping over all the cards. And I'm trying to think of things I missed. because obviously the game has a lot of stuff, but when I break it down like this, it becomes a little less overwhelming. So what are some important things I need to know about Blackjack? Because I don't play Blackjack, I just kind of learn the rules from AI. It's really important that I don't miss anything. So let me go ask, how does Blackjack work step by step? Because I'm probably missing something very important. Join a table, evaluate your hand, hit or stand. If your current hand is... Okay, so I am missing some stuff like if your current hand is less than 17, considering hitting. If yours is already high, you might choose a stand. Make decision and reveal their cards. Okay. That's something I need to really mention. So after we loop through the players, I think each one takes turns. So we would basically create a while loop until everyone stands. So create another loop. Create loop until everyone stands. And after that, the dealer flips and stuff like that to show whether or not you win or lost. The bets are dealt, and the round is over, and we get to keep on playing. And this seems like a pretty good plan, and I feel like I can actually code this. Definitely a lot easier when you break it down instead of just going on the flow and eventually realizing you missed something and your entire code will break. So probably in the next video, I'm going to go into a little bit more logistics, like how would I turn this into object-oriented program and stuff like that. But that's a problem for tomorrow, like I said. Anyways, if you enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up. Hope you subscribe. Yeah, unedited process, so pretty messy, but whatever. Anyways, bye-bye.